And we're back. So, 20 years ago this month, a machine sat across from Sedol in a Seoul hotel and basically redrew the line between us and them. In part one, we talked to the guy who built the machine. Now we flip the board. We connect with someone who was actually in that hotel room, someone who held his breath while it happened. Sedol's direct student, David Kim. He walked away from the game after that day and somehow found his way back. Lorne here. Quick interruption before we take off. I know asking you to click subscribe on a show about escaping the algorithm is deeply ironic. But the truth is, this bunker doesn't run on good intentions alone. We're trying to hit our first 1,000 listeners, a small, quiet forest of awake people. So if you've been flying with us, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It's the only way we keep this signal alive. David, are you there?
안녕하세요, 데이빗입니다.
연결됐네요. 반갑습니다, David.
네, 불러주셔서 감사합니다.
For those joining us from elsewhere tonight, we'll be flying in English. Guess it's hard to completely hide the mother tongue, so good evening from Bangkok or good morning from Austin. I always lose track of the time over there. What time is it over there in Austin?
It's just past noon here. Very bright outside. I imagine it must be quite late for you in Bangkok?
Spot on. It's the preferred hour for me, the local vampires, and our listeners. We're past midnight, drifting toward 1 a.m. It's the perfect time to completely disconnect. Which actually brings me to you. Listen, Jeremy Hintovsky mentioned you earlier.
Did he?
He said whenever he's in Austin, he hits up your place for a go detox. What exactly goes on in that room?
It's a small space. Wood floors, no screens on the walls. We have about 15 boards. People come in, they sit down, and they play. No clocks, no notifications, no algorithm telling you what to do next. Just two humans, a wooden board, and 361 intersections.
Fascinating. That sounds almost aggressively simple for 2036.
That's exactly the point.
Fair enough. Though on a historic day like today, I'd expect that quiet room to be a little chaotic. Is it a full house? Are you hosting some kind of commemorative anniversary tournament? A charity drive? Makes perfect sense.
It is a special day for those of us who love the game. But you have to remember, Lon, the day humanity lost to an algorithm isn't exactly a joyous holiday. We aren't popping champagne. We had a few friendly matches, but no, it's not unusually crowded. Just another quiet afternoon.
I hear you. Fair point. Well, you know exactly why we dragged you onto this frequency today. Let's rewind 20 years. March 2016. You were inside the Four Seasons. How old were you?
22.
22. And you were Sedol's student.
Since I was 14. He wasn't just a teacher to me. He showed me what human excellence actually looked like.
Wow. I was in Seoul that week, actually.
You were?
17. A friend had an apartment near Hongdae. 6 of us, one screen. We barely knew the rules, but we understood something heavy was happening. I remember the subway after match 3. Nobody was looking at their phone. In Seoul, in 2016, people were just sitting with it. Anyway, consider that a momentary malfunction. I don't usually talk about myself.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
Thank you, Derek. So, watching him lose, what did that feel like?
The first 2 games, we told ourselves it was bad luck. AlphaGo just got lucky. By the 3rd game, we couldn't lie to ourselves anymore. I remember the room going very, very quiet. It wasn't polite silence. It was the silence of everyone realizing something they could never unknow.
And then came move 78.
Move 78. When Teacher Lee played that move, the whole room shifted. The AI probability feeds flagged it as a mistake at first, but we knew. He found a crack in the machine, and for about 10 or 15 minutes, We allowed ourselves to believe again.
Incredible. That humanity could win.
That humanity could find something the machine couldn't. Even in losing, that might be the real victory.
The machine learned the game, but it couldn't find move 78.
Not at first, no, because that move came from 40 years of living a human life, from knowing the taste of defeat and pulling something out of thin air that isn't in any database. AlphaGo eventually learned it, sure, but we found it first.
Amazing. So 4-1, the match ends. What happened to you?
I left. Within a year, I quit the professional circuit completely.
That's a huge decision to throw away a decade of your life.
It didn't feel huge. It felt like the only honest choice. I watched a server farm completely dismantle the thing I loved most. What's the point of mastering something if a machine can just crush you at it?
What was the answer?
It took years to find it. I went to the States, did odd jobs, told myself I was done with Go. But I kept coming back to the board, just to feel it. The silence between moves. The way two people sit across from each other and actually think.
The game survived.
The game won, against my own bitterness. The machine took the rankings, the titles, the money, but it couldn't take the table. It couldn't take the quiet moment when a stranger sits across from you and you spend 2 hours inside each other's logic.
That's not a game anymore. That's a ritual.
Exactly. And in a world that turns every human connection into a push notification, that ritual is radical.
So you built the Giwon, a room for the radical ritual. Tell our listeners what it actually is.
It's a room where people come to be confused. In 2036, the whole world is designed to make sure you never have to guess. Your AI gives you the best route, the best answer, but Go is built on not knowing. You have to sit with the uncertainty. You have to generate a thought, commit to it, and deal with being wrong without a screen.
Jeremy called it deliberate inefficiency. You guys are basically selling the same medicine, just in different bottles.
We've talked about it. He looks at it through tech policy, I look at it through the board, but the problem is the same. The algorithm made us lazy, and the cure is friction. Uncomfortable, unoptimized friction.
Who comes to your place?
Tech workers who forgot how to think without a prompt. Parents who want to be in the same room with their kids without a screen. Executives who want to remember what it feels like to make a decision and just be wrong. And veterans. People who need to make a choice, a completely harmless human choice, and feel what that's like again.
A choice with no casualties.
Yes, exactly.
I have a question. Less philosophical, maybe more nosy.
Go ahead.
Familiar names?
Some.
That pause tells me everything. Humor me.
Peter Thiel has been a member since the first month we opened. Alex Karp came through once and quietly never left the wait list. Jack Dorsey visits when he's in Texas. He doesn't say much, which honestly makes him our best customer.
Incredible. The architects of our digital reality all gathering in one room. It's like a 1920s Parisian salon, just swap Hemingway and Picasso for tech billionaires hiding from their own algorithms. And the bigger names, I'm going to ask. You don't have to answer.
Elon Musk comes in, fairly regularly actually, and Mark Zuckerberg.
No way. At the same time?
In 7 years of operation, they have never once been in the room at the same moment.
Amazing. Is that true? Do they coordinate?
I genuinely don't know. I assume not, but somehow.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is the most absurd thing I've heard all season. Two of the most powerful men on the planet, voluntarily, in silence, playing an ancient Korean board game, and the universe has arranged it so they have never once crossed paths.
Go makes people humble. Even people who are very, very good at not being humble.
I need that on a teacher. What does that tell you about what's actually happening in that room?
That even the people who believe they've solved the world sometimes just want to think.
David, if you could sit down across from Lee Sedol right now, Just the two of you. What would that feel like?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it since I moved to the States. It brings up some strange feelings, actually, like coming home to a place that doesn't exist anymore. He taught me the board is a mirror. Your patience, your fear, your generosity, it all shows. AlphaGo doesn't have any of that. It has nothing at stake. Playing Teacher Lee was terrifying because he wasn't looking at your moves, he was looking at you. I'd probably lose, but I feel more alive than in years.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I always looked at Go as just math with stones, a puzzle to be optimized. But listening to you, it's infinitely more human than that. It's clearly not just a game about winning. Even with its history somewhat denied by an algorithm 20 years ago, it remains this incredibly profound mix of sport and art.
I'm glad it translates. You hold on to a feeling for so long, you start to wonder if it's just in your head. But hearing you say that, it really makes you think about what it actually means to be human. It's funny, a single event from 2 decades ago. As time passes, the meaning it holds in our lives keeps shifting, not toward defeat, but toward something that makes life richer.
Thank you, David, for telling us a story we couldn't hear anywhere else on a night like this. This was far more meaningful than I expected.
The pleasure was all mine, Lauren. Thank you for creating this space.
David, before you go, leave us with a song. What do you want the night birds to hear?
Uh, Something without words. I've been thinking about what music sounds like when it's not trying to impress anyone, just thinking out loud with keys. A piano piece at 3 a.m.
A piano piece at 3 a.m. that isn't trying to impress anyone. Tell me, David, does staring at a wooden board in Austin automatically make you this poetic? I know exactly the track. I'll cue it up for you. David Kim, founder of the Austin Giwan. Thanks again.
Thank you, Lauren. Please come by my Giwan when you're in Austin. The board will be waiting.
David Kim. I talked to a lot of people on this show, engineers, activists, people staring down the algorithm, but it's different talking to someone who actually lost something real to the machine. He watched the thing he loved most get torn apart. He ran away for a while, but he came back, not to beat the machine, just to protect the table. You know, I started tonight wondering if the machine already knows all the answers, why do we still bother asking the questions? I think Jeremy would say we'd do it to keep our brains from rotting, and David would say the answer was never the point. The point was always who was sitting across the table from you. I'll drink to that. That's our flight for tonight. Produced by Minch, written by Neva Iskrella. I've been your night keeper, Lauren. If tonight meant something to you, tell someone. A real person, not the algorithm. Stay thirsty and stay human. Good night, Bangkok.